Yeah, like I was saying, we'll be taking about 2 months of time to complete our DevOps course. Okay. Um, I'll also help you with the course content, like what we're gonna cover as part of the course. Duration, I'm gonna keep it 2 months. Fine. Uh, so timings for now is 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. IST. 1 hour. The content I cover Git for source code management. I cover Maven for build. I cover Jenkins pipelines and, advanced concepts. I mean, we cover more and more topics in Jenkins, and we focus a lot on pipelines rather focusing on freestyle. That's important in current situations. So if some of you don't know what is Jenkins, what is Sonar, no need to worry. So I mean SonarQube, which is static code analysis. Then Nexus for storing artifacts like jar, var, zip, etc. Then Tomcat, web server, Ansible, configuration management, and we'll see Ansible for configuration management and also deployments. Then Docker, Kubernetes. So your focus should be mainly on this. Should be on this and should be on this. I mean, these are the main tools you should be little familiar with for your interviews and even for doing your jobs. Others, if you have light knowledge, basic knowledge, that's good enough. Monitoring, this will be theoretical. If time permits, we'll have sessions if time permits. I mean, this is not that important. Of course, I'm not saying monitoring itself is not important. So monitoring plays a key role in DevOps, no doubt about that. But most of you may not get chance to set up monitoring stuff. It will be there. It will be there, and that's how it is. And you won't be singly responsible for everything I mentioned here. So that's the reason if we talk too much and if we try to learn many things, we might lose the important tools like Jenkins, Ansible, Docker, Kubernetes, and stuff like that. So Linux essentials for DevOps. So that's the course content at high level. So let me know if you have any questions.
Are you including AWS as well into this?
That comes under AWS course.
Or that's a different batch?
Meaning, after completion of DevOps, we go with AWS.
Okay.
Okay. Some of you might be only interested in DevOps. For them, this is the content. Some of you might be interested in both DevOps as well as cloud. For them, yes, we do have AWS course. I won't go much into this now because I want to confine to DevOps related discussion today. But we do have this. Same timings will be same and duration also will be same. And content, you can check with Shirisha. She can help you with that.
Yeah, Hari, good morning. This is Satya.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, so will you be slightly touch basing upon the Ansible tower as well?
No.
Okay, okay. Okay, and by any chance, if we miss out one or two classes, will there be any class recordings where we can refer
Recordings will be,
afterwards?
yes, recordings will be there, but only for 1 week.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
I don't
Got it.
want
Yeah.
everybody to take advantage of that. Okay. So I don't want people saying, hey, we have recordings and let's ignore classes. That I don't want.
Yeah, got it. Okay. Thanks,
Yeah.
Hari.
I want everybody to, I want everybody to attend classes every day at any cost. Exceptionally, that's fine. Uh, I don't want anybody to skip thinking there will be recordings. Yeah. Fine. Any other questions? Okay, fine, cool. Then, so a little bit about me. My name is just Hari Kamana. I have about 15 plus years of experience, so around 15 exactly. Um, in that experience, I have very good Java J2W. One second. So yeah, Java J2W experience. I have strong experience on that. Fine. DevOps experience, and I do have AWS experience. So right now, I like more into training business. Like I like to train people, learning new things, all that. Trainer and AWS, and so I'm working for a company also. But luckily, my job is work from home even before COVID, even after COVID. So I'll be working from home itself. I don't have to travel office and do all that stuff. So that's what it is about me. So this is my core areas, trainings, and also I'm working as architect plus I do freelancing stuff as well on AWS DevOps. That's how I engage with technology, which definitely helps in my training. It indirectly helps you guys also. Okay. Any other questions you have on me? Yeah, I have a very strong development background, no doubt about that. Okay, so now let's get into one moment.
Yeah, 1 minute. So
1 second, sir. 1 second. Sorry, guys. I got a call. Yeah. What was I saying?
yeah, so by after completion of this course, right? So either how we will like either we need to go for support or else development on AWS. How which role we can eligible for this? Like,
I will be covering development based content.
okay.
What we do
So
is
because we are currently using our internal AWS, okay, and there we are doing some configurations,
Mm,
okay,
mm.
and like database creation, like connections and everything, connection pools, everything. Yeah. So like deploying the microservices. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that is the reason. Yeah.
And see, what we learn is from scratch.
Okay.
What kind of role given to you uh, depends on your job. Got my point?
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, now let's see. Let's talk about DevOps. So why it has become so important in industry? It has become so important, and it has created lots of jobs as well. DevOps principles, DevOps philosophies, tools, right? That has created a separate role, and that has created lots of jobs today. Correct. So why it has become so important? The reason is, let's discuss with some diagrams. Okay. All right. Okay. You don't worry much about development activities. Why I'm saying this, many of you are little worried about writing code. Okay. So many people ask me how much percentage of coding is there in DevOps. So this is not a developer role. Remember, DevOps is not a developer role. It's operations role. And even DevOps role might need little coding uh, as part of the job. So when I say little coding, again, don't go into dreams and think I have to write a lot of code. No, nothing like that. So today IT sector itself, right, following anything as code, meaning do anything, but do it through code. If we do it through code, we're automating it. So if you want to recreate or redo, it's easy. I don't have to do it again. If I do manually, if I want to do again manually, I need to put lots of effort, right? So coding will be there, but it's not that level. I mean, it's very minimal. It's very minimal, which is required for admin background guys, support guys, operations background guys, and so on. So you're not going to write thousand, hundreds lines of code there. Don't worry about that. So please, if you have that perception, take it out of your minds. Right. So what software companies do, they develop softwares, Facebook, Amazon, Flipkart, eBay, Paytm, PhonePe, right? Net banking, online bank, all this, everything, every business today is driven by software. You take any business. So adding a software to the business will drastically, what is that? Increases your business revenue, all that stuff. So in software companies, we're going to have different roles: developers, test engineers, architects, leads, managers, business analysts, operations, or DevOps, right? Administrators like Linux admins, Linux admins, all that come under now DevOps today. But we're going to have different set of teams responsible for different things to develop a software and release that software to the end customer, right? So the responsibility of developers is to develop software, correct? Right. There could be one developer, two developers, or n developers. So when multiple people working on same project, we need to have some source code management tool. For example, let's say V5 working on a same project, and once we're done with our implementations, we want to merge all of them into one single project, right? So it is difficult to do manually. That's why we take help of source code management tools. SCM tools, for example, Git. Okay, right, Git, fine, cool. Developers will develop code and they test locally. After testing locally, they integrate into a central repository. That's going to be some SEM tool, could be Git, could be ClayCase, could be TFS, anything, any source code management tool. Fine. Locally they test. Yes, they do. After they test locally, see, when they test locally, they test their code in isolation. Let's say I'm a developer, I'm testing my code locally, and you are a developer, you're testing it locally, but we also need to test after integration, right? So my code and your code should be integrated. After integration, we need to again test it. So first they push their changes to SCM tool. Once it is pushed, we need to take code from SCM tool and we need to build it, right? So build meaning, let's take Android. Developers will have some development tools, IDEs like Eclipse or anything, any tool. They write code, correct? And we can't deploy that code directly on computers, on servers, because developers use Java or Android, whatever language, that is not understood by the server where we deploy that. So that's why we have build tools. Its responsibility is take source code, compile them, create a deployable package. Like if it is, it could be a zip file, it could be a WAR file, it could be a jar file, like that. It's going to create a deployable package. So we need to build the code, right? So here we are using for integration, right? We are allowing multiple developers to integrate all their changes into one single code base in SCM. Then we have to pick that code, we need to build. Then after build, we have to deploy it and test it. So sometimes, right, along with build, what we want to do is we want to do some static checks. I want to do a code review, or I want to check are there any security vulnerabilities, all that. So that is basically done with help of SonarQube. Sorry. I'm giving you the whole flow, sir, first of all. We're building, build tools will catch any compile time issues like syntactical issues, all that. SonarQube can catch memory leaks, connection leaks, security vulnerabilities, a code, a duplicate code, which is non-maintainable code, or maybe test cases are not written properly. All that can be scanned by SonarQube. Fine, cool. We're building it, we're scanning it, and we're making sure our code doesn't have any issues. Then we deploy it.
Both are randomly will work, sir. SonarQube and build.
They can work independently. Yeah. So they will deploy it to dev. Now, like this. Fine. So once we're done with Sonar and build, if they are success, we take our code to next level. We deploy it into dev environment, which is used by developers for integration testing. Oh, okay, right. Cool. Then I'm even sorry. So just a minute. We're going to have one more, which is our artifact tree. So we build it, then after it goes to, we store artifacts. After Sonar analysis, after build, we store artifacts in Nexus. Then it goes for deployment. See that we keep artifacts in Nexus, and we use some tools, and we pull that WAR file or jar file, whatever artifact it is, and we deploy that code to development environment, where I want my developers to retest after their code is integrated with other developers' code. So then from dev, it goes to QA. Okay. Again, the artifacts come from there. We are storing it in one central place so that anybody can take it and deploy it. So artifact is ready to deploy. Yeah. So likewise, depending on how many environments your company is maintaining, we have to deploy, or we need to promote that package to all the environments. Right. So production is the customer's environment. Production is where our customers use this software. So facebook.com, we are end users for Facebook. So that's a production server. So if Facebook wants to release any new feature, it all starts from here. They develop, they integrate, they do Sonar analysis, probably. They might be doing with different analysis, but they build. If all good, they keep it here. Then they deploy here. They'll ask their developers to test it. Then they deploy here. They ask their testing team to test it, right? Then, so I mean, even product owners, whoever introduced that new feature from Facebook, they want to check what is implemented. For them, we will have UAT, and finally, it goes to production. So this is live environment.
So Hari, what about JUnit testing, where that comes into picture, or whose responsibility is that?
JUnit comes under build itself. It will compile, it will manage dependencies, it will also execute. See, details we will go later. So let's not focus on the details, but I want to focus on the process flow. So details we'll go later on. I want to give you end-to-end picture. So we will go into details of Git, details of Sonar, details of build, details of Nexus, details of Tomcat or Docker or Kubernetes. But first I want to set expectations. What is overall flow? What is overall process in DevOps area? So then comes monitoring. See, any new feature starts from here, flows through all these stages and reaches your end customers. Production is nothing but the live environment. So then we will have, oh, okay, this is not developers. This is QA, testing team for, they do their own testing, UAT. This is user acceptance testing, UAT, and prod. Then comes monitoring. So we set monitoring mainly on production. We will also have on all environments for that matter. Okay. But mainly monitoring should be on prod. We want to check how our load balancer is doing, how our web server is doing, how CPU is utilized, how RAM is utilized, how network performance is utilized. So we want to monitor so that we can improve the way we operate, and also we can prevent failures in system. For example, we have database, and database is slowly becoming full. If we don't monitor, at some point, disk will be full and database will crash. To prevent that, monitoring is important. Number one. Number two, let's say Facebook, it checks the CPU utilization, memory utilization, all that. So if it is going high and high, they need to add more servers to take more capacity, more throughput. Correct. So monitoring helps in many different ways. Monitoring helps in, improving our operations, preventing failures in production. If failures happen, it also helps in troubleshooting, all that. Now, based on the feedback, So obviously, from end customers, we always get feedback. So the feedback might be so-and-so functionality not working, so-and-so functionality is slow, or we want new features. That could be the feedback. So when we receive feedback, again, we create user stories. Developers are assigned to those stories. They work on that. They integrate. That code goes with analysis and making sure no security vulnerabilities, no maintainability issues, no performance issues, no memory leaks, no connection leaks. All that is verified. And when we have a quality artifact, it is stored here, and that artifact is first deployed to dev, and then it's promoted to QA, UAT, prod, and so on. So this is the overall life cycle, software development life cycle. Fine. Now, what is our role here? See, these guys are doing their role. These guys are doing their role, their role, their role. What is our role here? Our role is this area. Right. So we are responsible for managing source code tools, right? We are responsible for managing SonarQube, builds, pushing them to Artifactory, deploying to dev. If dev is down, we are responsible. We should bring it up. So if dev is down, these guys cannot do integration testing. If QA is down, testing team cannot work. So we are responsible for the circle I have drawn here. So we need to automate this process, like right from when developer commits a code, I want to automatically do sonar analysis, automatically build, keep it here, deploy, all these things, right? So we are responsible for establishing this process. So we are responsible for taking the code from developers and successfully deploying them into production as quick as possible with minimal efforts. Questions on this?
So Hari, like if in the case during the analysis, code analysis, we find some errors or whatever it is, so we need to go back to developers, right?
If there is any issue with sonar analysis, we stop the build. Okay, we abort the build, and otherwise we send mail notifications to them. So if there's issue here, our build process stops here. If there's issue here, a build process stops here. So wherever we find issue, it stops there. This complete orchestration is mainly done using Jenkins. In Jenkins, we're going to automate all this process. We'll configure Jenkins jobs such a manner it does all this stuff and it successfully deploys everything into production environments. We use Jenkins, we use Ansible, and we also use Kubernetes. Many things are there. Along with what I mentioned here, Sonar, all that stuff. So we use Jenkins, Ansible, and Kubernetes. For example, I want to automatically set up SonarQube. I can use Ansible. I want to automatically set up Tomcat. I want to automatically set up Oracle, or I want to do patching stuff. So all configuration stuff can be done through Ansible. And Kubernetes for, I mean, we know, right? Docker containers has become more and more popular today. And every application, most of the applications run inside containers and run on some Kubernetes cluster, correct? So this prod environment could be a Kubernetes cluster. Getting me? So Kubernetes again built on top of Docker. All that stuff comes into picture. This is high level stuff, and more detailed information we will talk in the course. So yeah, please go ahead if you have questions on this.
How will deploy DB changes in DevOps pipeline?
So
is there any tool that we have in to automatic changes?
You can leverage Jenkins, Ansible.
Okay.
For automated deployments also. Got your answer?
Okay.
Yeah, Hari, just one question. So I'm just trying to understand the difference between, the source code management tools and Artifactory here, because the whole purpose of Artifactory is to maintain the updated code. So why can't we simply use one more Git here in this level?
See, this is source code. It maintains versions of every file.
Right.
Correct. This one is compiled code, ready to deploy. So if you have something here, it has passed Sonar, build all that, and it's ready to deploy. The purpose of SM is different. See, if I want to give some better example, if you ask me, I want to travel to Delhi, maybe I prefer car rather preferring a lorry. Got it, right?
Yeah, somewhat. Not fully understood. Yeah.
So Git is capable for certain things, and Nexus is capable for certain things.
Okay. Okay.
That's why, yeah, do its job and Git should do its job. Git cannot do Nexus job and Nexus cannot do Git's job. That's what it is.
Okay. Yeah.
But even though I didn't give more details about why not Git, but that is how you have to think right now, at least very beginning. Okay, cool. That's overall picture. And next, what we should do is, see, your job will be here, managing source code. When source code comes, you're responsible for passing that code all through and deploying it here, and also monitoring your applications. That's our responsibility as a DevOps guys. Developers have their own responsibility, test engineers have their own responsibility, business analysts, managers, architects, they will be having their own responsibilities there. Right? Now, what is DevOps? Why we should follow that? So let me do this one more. Let me keep this diagram in our document so that fine. So it will be a good reference for all of you. You can, whenever you're confused, you can come back to this and maybe you can refresh yourself what's going on in the DevOps area. Okay, fine. Now, what is DevOps? That's one thing we should learn, and why it is used. So let me first formally put a definition. Then we will understand why. See, first we'll see what is DevOps, then why we should use DevOps, or why everybody should use DevOps. So you can find this definition in different forms. And there is no a standard definition for DevOps. Maybe my definition is different, your definition is different, but we both are right, might be right, okay? So DevOps is combination. DevOps is combination of tools, cultural philosophies, best practices, which allows us to deliver our software faster So see this one, we need to underline this point. Deliver our software faster with high code quality. That's our target. So I want to deliver it faster, meaning I have some new feature. Can I deliver it in next minute? If you follow DevOps, then your answer is yes. If you don't follow DevOps, you say answer is no. You could say I need 1 week time or 10 days time, so that I need to plan and manually I need to go and execute. So that's going to be painful if it is not automated. But in DevOps, right, if we follow all best practices, we follow best tools if we use best tools in place, yes, the answer would be yes. Can you deliver it by evening? If code is ready, yes, I can. So can we make 10 releases in a day? Yes. So that's what we are aiming at. So we are trying to improve the process. We're trying to improve the quality of software, and we want to deliver the features as quick as possible. Let's say Flipkart wants some new feature by next Friday. Development is one thing, testing is other thing. If code is ready, can it be delivered within minutes? Answer is yes, if we have this automation in place, right? If we have everything in place, the moment developer commits, yes, it can go all the way to production within minutes, within hours, by doing all verifications there, correct? Fine, so that's all for today. Let's continue this discussion tomorrow. We will discuss little more. We get into DevOps little more. We understand the context. That's important before learning any subject. You should know what is that, why is that, then learning becomes easy. We should not learn DevOps blindly. So yeah, so that's all from my side today. Guys, if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I would like to close the session.
We will get the notes parallelly from your side.
I will give this running notes to you.
Day by day or within weekly ones?
I will share this live link.
Okay,
Right
okay.
now. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Be available live for you. Okay, thank you guys.
Hari, I have one question. Hari, are you able to? I'm audible?
He quit the meeting.
Yes.